Live streaming of SDR news coverage at HP Discover has been made possible by Intel Corporation. Check out Intel OpenPort IT, where you can connect with your peers at Intel on industry topics, best practices, strategies, and more. And by Microsoft, where HP and Microsoft are working together, combining their respective strengths to deliver innovative technologies to help advance your business.
Welcome to our continued coverage here at HP Discover. I'm Andy McCaskey from SDR News. I'm joined by Steve Tramack from the HP Converged Systems Group. And
Correct.
Your specialty is you're an engineering manager, correct?
That's correct, Andy. Yes, I manage an engineering team of developers and engineers and folks that have been focused for the last several years on Microsoft solutions, specifically SQL Server appliances and reference architectures.
Okay, and this is dealing in a big data type of environment.
It's exactly
the buzzword.
Exactly right. When we think about big data, it encompasses a lot of different data types. Data could be unstructured, but also structured data, and the explosion of structured data. The volume and velocity is, of course, growing rapidly in organizations. So they're looking at solutions that provide the kind of scalability to support ever-growing needs and consolidate into a single version of the truth, and that's where some of our appliances come into play.
So you're based in the Boston area. Have come up through, came into HP, I guess through DEC, huh?
That's correct. Digital and then Compaq and HP, and in fact the relationship between HP and Microsoft, really all of those companies had historical relationships. Our frontline partnership from the digital days and now extends through HP is over a 30-year alliance with Microsoft. And in fact, really over the last 5 years or so, we've worked very closely with them on this infrastructure to applications initiative, which is really centered around our converged systems.
Yeah. So what are some examples of applications that people may have heard about here at HP Discover that use your technology?
Right, so the SQL Server Parallel Data Warehouse is a new offering from Microsoft, only available in an appliance form factor. HP was first to market with this solution. We are now just recently have announced our second generation of that product, and we'll be talking about that here at the show. But there are other reference architecture programs around SQL Server, such as the Fast Track program, which is really a prescriptive approach for an organization deploying a data warehouse using SQL Server on HP Converged Infrastructure. We've also developed reference architectures and applications, appliances around things such as Business Insight with Power Pivot and SharePoint. So those are the kinds of things that we've been working very closely with Microsoft over the last several years.
Yeah. Now, a big part of this is trying to look at the system as a whole and management of the system. Can you speak to that? Yeah,
in fact, that's one of the challenges that organizations typically face when trying to build a complex infrastructure to manage terabytes or petabytes of information. So you not only have the data management challenges, but you've got the challenges around keeping the infrastructure consistent, keeping it from a security and an HA perspective, but also just simply from a managing the entire recipe of drivers and firmware and patch levels for the operating system for applications. So that's been kind of a primary focus around our converged systems. For example, in the Parallel Data Warehouse appliance, if the appliance starts at a quarter rack, scales out to 64 nodes, so it's a 7-rack solution, 6 petabytes of information. In that environment, with all the servers and the storage and the network switches and HBAs and NICs, etc., there are thousands of firmware and driver individual components that need to be consistent. So one of the things that we've done on the appliance level is build a series of tools that validate a consistent tested configuration, one that we at Microsoft have tested, and perform push-button updates across the entire appliance for all those drivers and firmware. So rather than having to keep track and manage at an individual level, we have an appliance-aware tool that will go out and do those updates consistently across the appliance.
How do you keep in sync with customers as you learn of their requirements? How do you validate, figure out which are outliers that maybe don't need to be incorporated into the next generation, and which things are really core and central?
Yeah, so a couple of things. We work very closely with our customers, with Microsoft. We have a joint support model where our support teams are engaged with customers directly and engaged with each other from a support perspective. We have our fields are engaged as well, so that's a constant feedback mechanism into our engineering teams, and our teams developing the converged system and developing the software on the Microsoft side work together on a daily basis. So we're in sync from that perspective and identifying what are the key requirements moving forward with the appliance. And of course, anything that involves the overall performance, anything that involves the security are all important. So maintaining, for instance, consistency across array controllers, very important in order to ensure data integrity. So those are the types of things that we monitor very closely. We test, Microsoft tests, and we deliver a recipe, very similar to the matrix operating environment approach that HP's taken in our cloud system enterprise products.
Yeah, this is a very active area, number of competitors. How would you differentiate HP's offering as opposed to others who are active here?
Yeah, so specifically in the data warehousing appliance space, only HP has an active engineering partnership with Microsoft. We have designed the product from the ground up with Microsoft. We actively test and deliver solutions through our factory that for our customers deliver a day one data load type of experience. We deliver a complete suite of tools that not only allow for the installation startup, but the ongoing management.
Back into the management piece.
Exactly, which is key, which is really where our customers are looking to save time. They want to simplify their investment. That's why they look at things like converged systems. So the management aspect is really important. And really only HP can offer such a complete portfolio around the big data space. We have app systems not only for SQL Server Parallel Data Warehouse, but also app systems for Vertica, for Hadoop, for Autonomy, right, for SAP HANA. So this app system approach, this converged systems approach, we're learning and leveraging across the entire portfolio and leveraging best practices around our supply chain, our value chain, bundling in the service and support and go-to-market motions with customers. So we can offer a complete solution that really is HP from the factory floor to the customer's data center.
Okay. For people who weren't able to be here, I know that a number of sessions have been recorded. Is there one that if there was one not to miss, that you would recommend to people?
Well, if they're interested in the data warehousing space and specifically in taking their SQL Server investment and building a scale-out data warehouse, it's the session that actually myself and Eric Kramer, my counterpart at Microsoft, will be delivering this afternoon.
Okay. So that'll be recorded and then available at HP.com.
Yeah, the title is Mission Critical SQL Server Solutions from HP. So I think that's if customers are interested in SQL and growing SQL into a mission critical offering in their enterprise, that one will give a good overview.
Okay, and then of course in general there's a Go code, I feel sure. HP.com.
Right. HP.com/go/SQL.
/SQL. Let's go. There you are. All right.
Great.
Well, Steve, thanks so much for joining us here today, and
my pleasure.
Giving us some idea of what else is going on around us.
There's a lot happening here at Discover.
There's a lot happening at Discover. Thanks to you for joining us as well. Stay tuned for continuing coverage of HP Discover.